everybody, I'd like you to join me in welcoming one of the most inspirational, hard-working, amazing women I have ever met to the Rally for Life. And I'm talking, of course, to Vicky Wall, who works with Every Life Counts, which you probably all know is an incredibly beautiful organisation which offers real support, information and really important peer-to-peer support to families where the baby has been diagnosed with a life-limiting condition. In other words, a condition where the baby might not live for very long after birth, like trisomy 13, trisomy 18 or anencephaly. Vicky, great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Niamh.
And you've had a really busy year. Not even since December alone, 25 families who have been in this very difficult, unusual situation have been helped by Every Life Counts. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, it's been really busy. Every Life Counts is going since 2014. It's an amazing organisation and we have over 130 families now that we have walked the journey with, which is amazing. But yeah, this year especially has been incredibly busy. Lots of calls, lots of emails, people contact us through Facebook, and yeah, we're there for them, and we're there to support them and walk the journey with them and just say we know how that feels.
You know how that feels, and that's amazing that you've had, it's only 6 months into the year and you've had 25 families already, so there's obviously a pressing need for the kind of support services that you offer, especially in this new changed culture now where often these babies are seen as being disposable, but you do something entirely different. You say to these families, look, we're going to help you pour a lifetime of love into that little life. Tell us about one of those stories, share one of those stories with us.
So we've a gorgeous family that again the first offer was abortion for them, and they were immediately saying no, we don't want to do that. And Mum found us and she sent us an email and she said, I just don't know what to do now. What do I do? So we spoke about memory making, you know, all the things we could send her, information, all that kind of thing, and just that we were there for her for the good days and the bad days, because they're both there. And that was amazing, and her baby was born, baby Elva, and baby Elva got to go home, and she lived for 18 days. And Mum, you know, she used our christening gown, she sent us pictures of those, and she just said that she was just so grateful that we were just there for her, and just able to check in with her and share her story and support her, be there with her,
Because some families get a very negative reaction, don't they?
Absolutely.
From medical professionals who should know better, who should know not to use ugly words like fatal or lethal or to describe a child as an abnormality, and who should be saying instead, look, here's what we know about this condition, here's how we can help you. One of those families, I think, was given a really shocking reaction to a scan. It
was a family in the UK, beautiful family. I've absolutely fallen in love with them, like I do with all our families, but at her scan the sonographer said your baby has no face, so the baby had holencephaly. And who says that? And to hear that, I mean, I've been that mum on the bed, you know, with the scan, and that is the trauma, and the diagnosis is the trauma. And she was just, but amazingly, you know, being in the UK, they wouldn't have seen babies like these born. You know, they actually said to her, nobody continues with these these pregnancies, is what they said. Nobody continues with these pregnancies. And she's like, well, this is my little girl, and we are going to continue. And this little baby, Jovi, she's alive. She is getting lots of care. Mum and Dad know that they don't have as long as, you know, they should do with her. And she is very medically fragile, but she's adorable. She indeed has a face. I was talking to Mum last week and we FaceTimed, and my daughter was in the background and she said she looks like a baby Mulan. You know, so she's the most beautiful little baby, and she's getting time with her family. She had a visit to the zoo, she had the barbecue at home.
The bucket list stuff.
The bucket list, she cheered on England in her England jersey, and you know, it's breaking that narrative.
It is, and I think it's such a key point, isn't it, Vicky, that I read this incredible study where, like, if we look at, for example, at babies with disabilities in general, even much more mild disabilities, you know, for example, than life-limiting conditions, something like trisomy 21, which is Down syndrome, or you see these horrific, heartbreaking abortion rates, you know, that 90% of the most special babies in the world are being aborted before birth. And then when you look at a study, for example, done by Byron Calhoun et al., and they looked at offering perinatal hospice care, which is really, because people sometimes I think that perinatal hospice is a building, but it's not. It's a framework of support, like what you offer.
Yeah.
And when parents were offered that, 85% of them continued to carry and love their baby. And like, it's a complete inversion of that number. You're going from 90% aborted to 85% continuing with their pregnancy. And it's just, I think, testament to the incredible work of organisations like Every Life Counts, you know, to what you do to walk with parents and lift that burden and to make things better for them. And part of what you do is you send them these gorgeous care packages.
We do.
And everything here is handmade, put together and made with such love, and I just love them. So tell me about everything in it.
So we've a lot of knitters. We are blessed. They all do.
Yeah.
They do knitting and crocheting, and
look at this.
So our care
people see
packages
this. This is look at this teeny little hat, because often, of course, the little Every Life Counts babies, Vicky, are very small.
Yeah,
so they might be born early, prematurely, because they've had this condition. Yeah. Sometimes they're really tiny little babies.
And we run a whole range of sizes for that. So we are lucky enough that we can be quick enough to be in touch with the parents, and we will know the age of the baby. So
it's like a little
that's a little set
hat.
that, one of our mums, Liz, she's just a superstar. She's doing college. She's so busy, but she still finds time to sit down and do these for us. She does our butterflies, she does our small hats, and she does our little blankets, our little comforters.
And you've lots of knitters.
We've lots of knitters. We've
Christina. Getting more all the time.
Yeah, we've Christina, and she actually learned to knit to do these little packs for us. So these little packs, actually, a few of the hospitals have actually asked us for these. So because they come packaged and they're just a little matching blanket and hat.
She learned to knit, so she learned to knit for these little precious babies.
Yeah, and we've a huge stock of these in all these lovely colours, and they're just good for the very small babies or the babies in NICU, because parents just do love seeing the gorgeous little.
That is
they just
fabulous.
Do love seeing them. Yeah,
bless her, that is fabulous. And then you have these tiny little growers, because again, these are tiny little babies.
Yeah, this is what one of the things, especially this year, the parents have come to us and they're like, where can we get something tiny? Now, I know from my own experience, it was very important to me so that's a £2 baby grow. So a baby with trisomy 13 or 18, you know, that may come at 30, 32 weeks. By themselves, that would normally be that size. And from my own experience, clothing was very important to me. So we keep these in stock all the time. They're quite hard to get, so sometimes we have to source them from the UK, and we keep them in stock all the time so that they're ready to go should they need them. So, and there's a little boy as well, and just a little. It's someone's baby. Yeah. And I mean, the thing about having your baby is going into the shop and buying the baby girl. So that's really important. So, you know,
I think it shows that their baby is valued by us as well, by other people, because some of these families can feel very alone, that nobody values their baby, or the doctor thinks their baby's not, their life is not worth living, but we value them. And Every Life Counts values them. Of course, their families value them when they're given the support they need. That's what these do. And you've so many beautiful little things here. We do. For mum and mum as well. And
for mum as well.
And dad,
again, it was the thing, it was, you know, so we do a lovely little smelly set for mums.
Gorgeous.
She's in, she's having her baby.
And a memory box.
And a memory box with little items.
Oh, look at this. Because the memory making is so important.
It really is. It really is.
So important. Oh, look. And they can do hand prints, footprints.
We have hand prints, we do
everything like that.
We do the nice clay that air dries and doesn't leave stains.
Beautiful.
And then sometimes you can just use it for mum and dad's hand prints, or maybe siblings with the babies. Yes. So we do that as well.
And you see this often, Vicky, when you go into the home of someone who's had one of these very special babies. You see the little tiny hand prints and the little tiny footprints, and it's so meaningful because that's their memory of their baby.
Absolutely.
With the photos.
So
and talk to me about this. Now, I don't know if people can see this, because you'll all be familiar, of course, with christening gowns, but one of the issues your parents found in Every Life Counts was that their little babies were swamped by regular christening gowns. So you had this beautiful lady.
We do.
But she gets communion dresses and wedding dresses, she hand makes these tiny little christening gowns for these special babies.
So that would be for say £3.
Wow.
And already this year we got 2 beautiful pictures of our families and the babies wearing the christening gowns. Wow. And we send them to Mary, who makes them, and it brings her to tears every time, because she was blessed with 10 children, and she always says that she couldn't imagine having to give one back, is what she says. But so she does amazing.
What do the parents feel like when they get one of these? Because it's just, I think the value and the support from other people is just...
They always say to us they're so overwhelmed and grateful that somebody that will never probably meet them or know them would go to that effort and time. And I mean, they're stunning handmade items.
There's two more here, like they're absolutely beautiful.
She does them in different sizes. So
look at the attention. And look here, I think at the back as well, at the back of the gown, if we can just get a shot of that, she has made them so it's really easy to put the gown on and off, because often, of course, these little babies might have tubes or might have difficulty in moving them and everything. That's so incredible, such care and love. And then, Vicky, and this is obviously is hugely important to your own story, because you were expecting little baby Liam, and you went for a scan, and at 24 weeks, am I right?
24 weeks.
24 weeks. So, you know, I've been 24 weeks pregnant. You were very pregnant. You were big. You were here. The baby's kicking and moving. And you could see your little baby kicking and moving on the screen. And the doctor was telling you that she had trisomy 13. And what did he say to you then?
I remember looking, and because we had a bit of a warning shot, as they call it, and we were sent then to Dublin. And then he was just so quickly, you know, diagnosis was immediate just by looking at her. He said, you know, she has trisomy 18. And I was like, okay. And he said it's incompatible with life. And I'd never heard that term. And then I said, well, what can we do? And he said, you can pop to England. And
his first reaction?
That was just it, There was
and you meant, what can I do to help her?
Yeah, or what could we do as a family even? And you think that it would be obvious, you know, of how to do memory making and stuff. But when you've never been in this position, and I wouldn't have been that type of person, you know, I'm very kind of, I worked full time, I was go, you know, barely any pictures of the second children in my house, you know. You don't think of these things. And it was actually my consultant back in Waterford Hospital said to me, you know, Vicky, you're still working, come out of work, you know, take a breath, take this time with her. These are now her first steps. And it hit me so hard, you know, but I needed to hear that. And it might sound obvious to some people. And that's what we do, you know, we say to parents, take a breath now, you know.
This is your time with baby.
This is your time. And yes, it is sad, but you will look back at this time with such love and such fond memories. And you will be sad that you didn't take the extra photo or the extra video or the extra place.
I remember the first time I saw you speaking, and you said that, you know, you built a little patio in the back garden, and you sat there eating strawberries with her. Like she was in your womb, but she was with you.
And talking to her,
and talking to her and enjoying the sunshine and reading her stories. I just thought it was this incredibly beautiful way to show how this is your life with baby now. But a point you made, because you wrote, obviously we've had this terrible, the opposite of everything you're describing, which is this devastating and tragic case in the National Maternity Hospital, the case of baby Christopher. And you wrote a very powerful piece this week where you talked about the fact that your doctor told you your baby was incompatible with life. And they told baby Christopher's parents that he had a fatal fetal abnormality. And you said neither of those are medical terms. And it just really struck me how correct that was. And I know one of the things you do, and in the article you said, what parents need, because you were there, you were in that situation. What parents need is they'd like some facts, not your judgment, not being pushed towards abortion, but they would like some facts. They'd like to know, do babies with trisomy live beyond birth? And of course we know that most of them do. If they get to birth, they live beyond birth. Something like 12% live beyond a year. You know, can interventions help them? If your baby is anencephaly, what can you expect? And you'd like to know what have other families been through in that situation? And that's why you've produced, if we can see these beautiful booklets, what a diagnosis of anencephaly means for your baby, and then trisomy 13 and 18, what you need to know. And there's a big demand for these, I understand, from maternity hospitals, from patients, from counsellors.
We've had great feedback from them. We get asked for our items, our leaflets and our books because they're so factual. We had one mum in the UK that had a baby with anencephaly, and her midwife had never experienced a baby with anencephaly carried to term.
Wow.
So that midwife got in touch with us and asked us for some of our leaflets to use them in the UK in her work.
And so important for parents to have real information, not to be judged, not to be pushed towards abortion, but to have real information.
And to see good pictures. We have pictures of our families in there. And I remember Googling trisomy 18 and seeing these horrific images. And, you know, there's just such a different feeling to that. If I had that leaflet at the time.
This beautiful, beautiful centrepiece to the leaflet where you can see these amazing little babies. And some of them, lived minutes, some of them lived hours, some of them lived weeks and years.
Yeah,
Kathleen
absolutely.
Rose, trisomy 13.
Yeah, she was
still
at her
there,
sister's wedding
at her
last week.
sister's wedding.
Yeah.
These are just incredible human beings who have value, little babies.
Yeah.
And you present, I think that's such well done, Vicky, amazing information to be giving to families when they need it most. Just finally then, we just touched on the National Maternity Hospital case, and I know, isn't it incredible that if this case has made the news, but there's very little discussion about it in the media, because I don't want to talk about the culture that has now taken hold in maternity hospitals, because it's evident now. And you knew this before the referendum, Every Life Counts. You asked Simon Harris for a meeting, which he never gave, because you wanted to explain to him.
Many times.
Yes, many times, that already parents were under pressure to abort in these circumstances. Already you were being told to pop to England. That would get even worse if the 8th was repealed.
Yeah.
You were told it would never happen. Nonsense would never happen. 3 months into the new law, it happened. The unthinkable has happened.
Yeah.
And you're saying, Vicky, that you want the culture to change. You're saying that it's evident that this is happening, and the first solution is abortion. Yeah. Whether or not the baby had trisomy 18 or not, that's not really the key issue. The key issue is that parents are being pressurised to abort here, and you want that culture to change.
Yeah. I mean, we're actually hearing it. We're hearing it back from the parents. I would say at least 2/3 of our parents would say that they felt pressured to go in that direction instead of being given time and space for their options.
Yeah.
So that option is there now. So I really don't understand why they're so insistent that it happened so quickly, why these parents were told, and these parents have said this, that they were told not to wait for the test results.
Yeah.
That is horrendous.
Yeah.
And this, baby Christopher will never get to have a pet dog.
Yeah.
He will never have his first day at school, and his poor parents have to suffer that for the rest of their lives. And these doctors will pay out some money and they will move on with their lives, but a whole family has been destroyed by this. Yeah. The pain and the hurt, and even the messages we were getting to Every Life Counts, parents that their babies, were still, we've a lot of parents now at the minute still pregnant, they're like, could this be wrong? What's going on? And the words being used in the media. Yeah. RTE, for example, said that the baby wasn't normal. Yeah. And we're constantly, and we have done since 2014 at Every Life Counts, fought against words like that. Yeah. And then there they are, throwing them out in the media. Yeah. There was one newspaper article and it said, the headline was "Baby Blunder Case." Blunder. Gosh. And
I know, as if trisomy 18 baby is a blunder or an abnormality. It's horrendous.
A blunder that this healthy, baby, and even not healthy, that the parents once said, well, do you know what you can do? You can go home, you can take some time. Yeah. That option is there. If
here's a support group you can reach out to.
Here's a support group, because you can continue to term with this baby. You can make memories. You can take your time and see how you feel. There is no rush.
I know. I think you're so right. There needs to be a complete change. There needs to be a public inquiry.
Yes, absolutely.
And then there needs to be a root and branch review of how doctors are delivering this diagnosis to families and what should be done instead. Vicky Wall, thank you so much. Such a pleasure as always to talk to you, and the amazing, amazing work you do for families with Every Life Counts.